From her breakout role as a tiny vigilante in the Kick-Ass movies to seducing Zac Efron in Neighbors 2 Sorority Rising, our first guest has grown up on the silver screen. Now she's playing a naive young woman whose kindness leads her into the hands of a psychopath in the amazing new dramatic thriller, Greta. Take a look.
Please.
What do you want from me?
I want to talk.
Then talk to your daughter.
I can't. She does not understand.
What? What doesn't she understand?
I'm lonely.
Greta, everybody's lonely. That does not mean you get to follow people around and terrorize them.
Please welcome Chloe Grace Moretz.
Thank you. You started acting when you were 5.5 years old.
I did.
And thanks to CBS All Access, we found your first TV role from 15 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
So here you are sealing the scene with Simon Baker on The Guardian.
How come you don't have a favorite color?
I don't know.
Everyone has a favorite color.
Violet.
What?
Violet seems like a nice color.
Shut up.
My voice is actually fairly similar still. It sounds like the same kind of raspy little kid.
How do you feel watching it?
It's a funny thing. So much of it is, it's like watching home videos in a weird way. It's like it's you and it was you doing these things, but you don't quite remember it. But I remember when I was that young, I couldn't really, I couldn't read. So memorizing lines, my brother would read them to me and I would have to just like memorize them by sound. And it was my first big role that I booked.
You're so good at that. So I have to ask you about your good friend Meghan Trainor.
Yeah.
Now you set her up with her husband.
I did, yes.
How did you know that they would be like the perfect couple?
Well, I've known Daryl since I was about 17. We did a play together in New York, and he was one of my best friends ever. And I just recently met Megan, and she was like, I'm just looking for a good guy. And I was like, well, I think I have the match. And he was in Spy Kids. And so I set them up, and they had literally fell in love, I think, like the first time they met. It was the first day, and they just fell in love so deeply. And I was so happy to see it. And then now they're married. So I'm
Do you have any friends for me?
Let's get to keep going.
But I have to talk to you about Greta because this movie is incredible.
It really is.
I've watched it twice already. You are amazing in it. It is such an incredible dramatic thriller. And it's really a cautionary tale, right? About how some friends are not really good.
Yeah.
And so please explain to us how you met Greta and how all this came about.
So Frances is a young woman who just moved to New York for the very first time, so taking on the big city. And she lost her mother 7 months prior to meeting her in this film, the character. And she has this kind of, cavity in her heart that she is looking for some form of love, I think, and friendship. And she finds a bag on the subway, and being a smaller town Good Samaritan, she decides to take it to the address where it's on the ID, and she meets this woman and lets her into her life. And one night she finds out that this is not the first time she's done this, that she has been leaving these bags around New York trying to capture Good Samaritans. So it turns into something creepy.
It's so good.
It's spooky.
Yeah, there's so many great scenes, but we are going to play B-roll of a scene. Greta makes an epic, crazy scene at a restaurant that you are a waitress at. And it's so, she goes so full on you. It's such a great scene. This movie's so good, guys. You have to see it. Now, we have another B-roll of two Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Yes.
They gave it their own on it and flip the table.
And it's the classic, you know, Teresa Giudice and Danielle Staub.
Yes, one of my
moment.
favorite scenes ever.
The best scene ever.
Yes. Oh my
Iconic.
goodness. And did you know about it?
Oh, yeah.
You
Well,
knew
they
all
called me
about
up and they were like, so we're going to film this. I don't know if you watched The House. I was like, yes, I do.
Yes.
I watched all of them. And I was like, can I be there, please? And just like be in the presence. And I was there and I got to see it happen.
Oh, I love it.
And it was really wonderful.
Now, have you ever waited tables in real life?
So, yeah, well, my character's a waitress. And I, you know, being that I acted since I was 5, I never had the opportunity to do that. And I know that there's kind of like just a confidence and a fluidity that happens when you do wait tables and being confident in that. And I knew that I couldn't really execute that properly if I didn't try it. Right. So I asked my director to let me go to a restaurant, find a restaurant that would take me with zero experience. And so I went, trained for 2 days, and then I hit the floor for 5 days. Oh, wow. And I will tell you, it was one of the hardest weeks of my life. Like, it is genuinely so difficult.
Yeah.
It takes so much just thinking on your feet and being able to sell specials that no one really wants. Yeah. And like time out the meals correctly and not burn your arms with the plates, which I did constantly.
So when they tell me the specials, they're not authentically excited about it?
I'm like, you want the mac and cheese. I know you do.
But in the movie, you were gagged, tied up, and locked in some very tight spaces. So how difficult was that for you?
It was really difficult. You know, a lot of the time you're acting and it's just you kind of make believing, but I'm genuinely very claustrophobic. Mm-hmm. So there's a moment where I'm put into a very confining space where I can't even move my legs. Oh. And the fear you see in the movie is very much so me not acting at all. And I would love to say that I overcame the fear. Definitely did not. Probably made it worse.
Well, we are so happy you were here with us today. We hope it wasn't fearful. Corey, Grace, Moretz, thank you. Greta is in theaters now, and we'll be right back.
Coming up next, TV's new spot from the CBS All Access show Star Trek